Alright guys, this is episode 1 of my versus battle series between Black Clover and Naruto. Uh, I will start this off with Asta vs Naruto as, well, the title of the episode. Asta's speed scaling goes like this. He is already able to, in the third arc of the series, block lasers from Ghosh, and at the end of the Elf arc, he is able to defeat Zangrid. The several feats that he performs at the end, along with his training regimen and all the speed calcs, put him up to 375 times faster than the speed of light. Be wondering why I have a pyramid on screen. Well, this is each stage of which Asta and crew had to get stronger to face even the foot soldiers of the Spade Kingdom, with Asta being able to take down the kings, the Dark Triad, whom have blitzed and destroyed the foot soldiers, i.e. Vanica kicking away one of her foot soldiers, with Asta being able to defeat Dante, although with some help from Yami. This has been calced to being able to put Asta at 187,500 times the speed of light. Now we have Asta being able to defeat Nama and Lilith. This, along with defeating Lucifero, several demons that are leagues above the demons that possessed and boosted the power of the Dark Triad. This would make Asta 375,000 times the speed of light. Now, the current top speed for Asta after a 6-month time skip with training with all his boosters is 15 billion times the speed of light. Taking away all of Asta's boosters, Zedden, his black form, and Union, he in base form should be able to move, well, this fast. Now on to Asta's strength, which he does scale to his anti-magic. I do need to address this because it is a thing that people bring up. Oh, his base form has no power because he's just a human. Well, he is able to counter Zagrid's magic and non-magic created swords. These swords that are magic, Asta can cut through, and the others he can't, including other forms of other creations that Zagrid makes, along with Asta being able to block and beat up Libe, who has all of the anti-magic that makes Asta so strong. So, kind of wrong there with calling Asta weak. Now we have Asta being able to take the heat from the fire salamander. This directly scales him above multi-continental or continental. The reason being, this attack itself is able to vaporize entire seas. Vaporization is, well, quite strong. Water, quite dense. And a sea is, well, let's just put in simple terms, vastly larger than most continents and or islands. And vaporizing such a mass, well, that takes a lot of effort. Moving on to a nice little scaling chain, where Dorothy can create moons in her glamour world. She creates the real thing in it as stated by Sally in the Elf arc, with Lucifero's gravity magic being able to defeat Dorothy's glamour world. Same with how Lucifero's gravity defeated Rouge, the fate-manipulating cat, uh, with Asta being able to defeat Dante and uh, defeat Lucifero, who scales to small planet level. Why? Well, it's mainly due to cross-scaling with Yuno, or, well, possibly star level, if you want to wank him, with Yuno having star magic and being able to shoot beams with that, along with Merliona's many heavy fire-based attacks that scale above Patri putting a hole through through a mountain. So I would say maybe star level, but definitely small planet level. Asta has copied the sword skills of several swordsmen, those being Licht, Kaito, Yami, Mars, and Fonzel Kruger, with him only being able to do this with one arm. He has gotten a new one, but the skill still shows how skilled Asta is with a blade, especially with how he can use their techniques and skills. With this, he gained a understanding of how to use magic in with his blade techniques. He has great stabbing skills and overall good posture, heavy defensive counters, and, well, a solid defense. He has learned dancing like movements, more fluid, and he has a mastery of his swords and their varying shapes and the way they cut things. Now on to Ki. Ki is a thing in Black Clover where Asta can use it to sense things around him, basically his own version of mana sensing, allowing him to track opponents' attacks, falling debris, basically everything around him, from the most minute sound, smell, and the way the person moves, the air movement, basically everything. To be able to track and predict his opponent's attacks, being able to smash rocks out of the air, and track his anti-magic flow within his body to grant himself black form. He has recently learned Zetten, a technique that, with Ki, makes him 100 times stronger. Now on to Asta's anti-magic and abilities. Asta can use his anti-magic to counter the likes of time and space, time manipulation, time magic, along with spatial magic and many other things within Black Clover that, well, control reality along with fate itself. He also has learned how to cover himself in anti-magic, increasing his own durability to protect himself from all directions. It's not a boost, it's more just sort of a protective coating, like a winter coat. Now on to his specialty swords. Starting off with the Demon Slayer sword, he can telekinetically pull it to himself or around him, basically in any way he wants. With him being able to fly on top of it, telekinetically use them as blades. He can use its flat side to rebound attacks and increase the size and power of the Demon Slayer sword to be able to cut down castles that are several miles high and wide. Alright, we have the Demon Dweller sword, which can release slashes of anti-magic which can essentially be of any length or size, well, depending on how much Asta wants to put out. And then we have the Demon Destroyer sword, which is so potent it can reverse magical reincarnation, sending people back from the afterlife, along with reversing poison. Well, the poison part is the less impressive piece, but yeah, that's the gist. This sword takes away the cause from the effect and essentially reverses whatever's going on, whether it be an AoE attack or healing, or an enemy team healing another teammate. There's literally nothing that this sword can't reverse. Now we have the Demon Slasher sword, a katana that's able to increase Asta's cutting range and selectively cut whatever he wants to cut through, basically. With him being able to, for instance, if his friend is a hostage, he can cut right through them without harming them at all. He can do the same if someone is behind cover or is using an army of clones to create some distance. Now, starting off with the boosters in Black Clover, and well, for Asta mainly, he has the ability to, in his black form, get a 10 times increase along with flight. Then in Devil Union mode, he gets a 30 times boost along with flight and a tail. This tail, although it might not seem like it helps, it can smack away opponents and catch things from behind him. Tails are actually kind of useful, I learned in certain series. He also passively releases anti-magic all around him, decreasing any AoE type attack around him. And then getting to the source of his power, Lieb. Lieb has all his abilities and more. The two can separate from each other and fight alongside each other. But Lieb carries most of Asta's powers. So if he leaves, Asta only has his ki to fall back on, along with his overall skill. Since I don't consider Boruto canon, I'm not considering any Hokage stuff or any of that at all. And I'm not going to consider the last at all. Mainly because Naruto already has enough scaling at the end of Shippuden that I think he at the very least puts up a good fight here. But mainly, the last connects to Boruto, and I very much hate Boruto. I consider it not canon. Moving over to Naruto Uzumaki's speed, he is able to somewhat keep up with Sasuke, whom is stated to be weaker than the entire Sound 4 in base form. Jirobo, the weakest member of the Sound Force, self-admitted, and called that constantly. He after using a 10 times, 5 times boost, is able to block a lightning speed attack from Choji. Alright, Kakashi, when he was younger, can cut a lightning bolt in half. Naruto is able to keep up with him, well, somewhat keep up with him. Naruto is later able to keep up with opponents that can move at the speed of light and or relative to it, with many of these characters all being somewhat relative or if not slightly above. But Naruto is able to blitz them with KCM, a 77 times multiplier to his base form. Naruto is different from Asta in a very, I would say, okay way, where his durability and power don't really scale together, with him being able to, in base form before the six paths boost, survive the Ten Tails Cataclysm. Physically, I would say in base he is around multi-continental, uh, and then Sage mode he gets close to moon level. Then KCM he would be small planet level. And then in terms of durability, he would be he took the Ten Tails Cataclysm, the six paths boost that he was given to increase his base form, allowed him to take hits from the likes of Madara. So I would say it would scale him higher to the higher end of moon level, or around a few. I would say it was a 10 times increase. So going from multi-cont to moon level does fit. And then we have his him with KCM that increases him up to planet level. Now on to Naruto's hand-to-hand skill. He's able to trade blows with skilled fighters like Sasuke, whom can copy several martial arts, but they still are shown to be superior to him, like Sasuke. Now, onto the thing that makes this fight even. Onto the thing that makes Naruto so strong. Onto the thing that makes Naruto a really strong opponent. We have Kurama, stated by the data book to be able to turn the world to ash. Now, this statement, although it could be hyperbolic, it is shown that he is far superior to the many Biju who can put holes through mountains. This requires multi-continental levels of power, as there is no rubble left from the mountains themselves. Vaporization is superior to pulverization, as it needs to be destroyed at the atomic level, or, well, far more than shattering something. And he has several methods of releasing these Biju bombs or wide explosives, either as a beam out his mouth, or, well, tiny orb, or a large volley of giant orbs that can blow up mountains. Now we have the Kurama avatar, or Kurama energy. Kurama can release his energy out of Naruto to be able to enhance his attacks. His chakra is poison to anyone else except for him and Naruto. He can also use it to heal himself and or others, but it's mostly used to increase Naruto's attacks and create this giant avatar that is his own size. He is 6.4 miles tall. Kurama can create clones of his avatar state and tendrils, along with tendril hands to grab his opponents. So this overall does help Naruto a lot in battle, and the boost Kurama gives to Naruto is 77 times, well, his base. Instead of talking about Naruto's least used move and the one of the first moves he shows off, the sexy jutsu, which is completely unimportant, we'll go over the multi-shadow clone jutsu. This move allows Naruto to create multiple shadow clones at once. The pros of this move are that he can create a variable army that is seen to be 1,000 at a time. That's the named number. He can also see through their eyes and get training from them. So, with double the amount of people, eyes, and things that he's doing at once, he can essentially double his training. The downside is that they all need their own pools of chakra, so he divides his own and gives them to each one. So they all essentially have their own small pools of smaller, vastly smaller pools of chakra than his own to pull off moves like a Rasengan alongside him or a diversion tactic. Uh, and another con he uh, is that the clones themselves can be taken out by anything from a rock falling on them to a simple needle. Ability that I don't see is brought up often is the fact that Naruto can breathe in space and, well, fly. He can do so pretty well, especially with his army of clones. He could pretty much attack from all angles. Now on to Naruto's most overused move, the Rasengan. The Rasengan is a compressed ball of chakra that can be used on any part of his body. Like if Kurama uses his Kurama arms, he can launch them out with his tendrils or at the tip of his pinky. His clones can also create Rasengans and massive Rasengans. The power does equal the size, and he has a Wind Rasengan, being able to increase its power and effectiveness against fire-based attacks, with him being able to use it defensively to block fire. He can use the Wind-style Rasen Shuriken, a throwable version of the Wind-style one, which is strong enough to bypass durability, attacking someone on the cellular level. Most characters don't have a defense for this, and it is why it's called a durability bypassing attack. A character called Minato Namikaze is able to cut through the Eight Tails limbs, with the Eight Tails being heavily damaged by, but not torn apart by, Amaterasu. Amaterasu is a powerful flame jutsu that has AP that's stated to be a sun level, and it's stated in the in one of the, I forget what part of the manga it is, but basically it's stated that the Rasen Shuriken has the same level of power as Minato's as Minato. So essentially, his own AP scale, the Rasen Shuriken's AP scales above Amaterasu, which is sun level. Now on to Sage Mode. Sage Mode is a great boost to Naruto's power. I do believe it is 15 times, as although it is, I would say, it comes from the same place as Kabuto Sage Mode slash Jirobo's, which is how Orochimaru got the curse mark boosts for the Sound 4, which is stated to be a 10 times multiplier at max power. I would say that because of the fact that Naruto can use it far longer and that he's trained with it, and that I would say it has better signs of AP feats than the than what the curse mark has shown, along with other uh natural energy boosts. I would say I wouldn't say it's significantly more, but I would say it's to a point that it's noticeable. It grants the user enhanced perception, along with it needing to be able to match their amount of chakra. So, and since Naruto can fight in a war for a few weeks, um, that being the Fourth Great Ninja War, I would say that it grants him a high level of durability and overall stamina increase, as the sensory aspect to it would allow him to stay in the fight longer. He also has an increased range to his punches with Frog Kata. People that can see Frog Kata can, well, see it and possibly dodge it, but it does have a pretty good range. And as seen here in the data book, it can bypass durability with its strikes. Now let's get down to the conflict between Asta and Naruto. Asta's base speed is far surpassing Naruto's, and even with Naruto's insane boosters, it's still not enough to close the gap with Asta still being in base form. And if you want to take the argument of their character into account, Naruto always takes fights super seriously, especially up against foes he doesn't have a huge tie with. Examples being with Kakazu, he kept on trying to kill him instead of with Pain. It was more just sort of trying to keep him down, and especially at the end, talk no jutsu. Um, Another example would be Obito and Haku, and you get the idea. He would not try and spare Asta here, and so I do think Asta would be on the defense, but not as much as people would think. Uh, Due to this, I think that Asta has the edge very much because of his speed. If you want to argue that the Rasen Shuriken would kill Asta, well, he can rebound it with the Demon Slayer. And, well, what about the Shadow Clone Army? He could just make so many it would swarm Asta. Well, Asta's Demon Dweller. Wait, no, not. Yeah, the Demon Dweller can absorb and, well, not absorb, but it can uh, take away the cause from the effect, essentially getting rid of the chakra within the clones and the clones themselves being chakra. And if you all are asking, wait, why? It's two different energy systems. Well, in all versus battles, we equalize the energy to make the fights fair and, well, as to not make certain abilities like Asta's anti-magic not do anything. Same with certain characters being able to absorb energy or affect another's abilities. It would just be boring if an entire character's moveset was just, not working. So, from there, Asta is, I would say he would be able to harm Naruto, but I wouldn't say he has the ability to one-shot Naruto. You might say, well, it's because of his regeneration, right? They kind of have the same AP. Well, yes and no. Naruto himself, although he does have precog to some degree with Sage Mode and Kurama's negative intent sensing, Naruto's durability, I think, surpasses Asta's, uh, but it's kind of shaky, mainly due to, well, Asta being able to use ki, Asta being far more skilled than Naruto and being able to dodge his attacks. Overall, Asta has everything to win this fight. And if you're trying to say, well, what about the Kurama avatar? He can just increase in size to bat away Asta. Well, I hate to say it for you, but Asta can fly as well as with the Demon Dweller, tear apart the Kurama avatar from all angles, as it's a chakra creation, much like the uh, much like the much like the mana poison that Asta was able to fight against instantly with the Demon Dweller in its first use. And he was also able to completely stop reincarnation. Reincarnation in Black Clover is used with seals, and guess what keeps Kurama inside Naruto? That's right, a seal. To make the fight even easier for Asta, Asta just needs to hit Naruto in the tummy with the Demon Dweller, release Kurama, and Lieb fights Kurama, and as we showed earlier, Lieb scales around Asta, but is definitely slower than him. But that's still to the point where Lieb would be significantly faster than Kurama, whom, from the images that I showed earlier, and from your possible knowledge of Naruto, Naruto scales above Kurama even before the 6 paths boost. Asta would be strong enough to still kill Naruto with his sword swings. Naruto would have far lesser durability than I would have, than him with full power. So Asta would be able to handle that. But what about the clones? Well, what about them? He can Asta can selectively cut through things with the Demon Slasher, and Libe would already have 3 other swords at his use. One of them can increase in size to block Kurama's attacks. The other can be used to just tear apart Kurama from all angles, as Kurama himself is made out of chakra, or decrease the power of a Biju bomb while it's traveling, along with being able to launch energy waves of anti-magic at Kurama with the Demon Slasher. So, no matter what, Asta crushes Naruto with ease. I would like to say thank you to everyone watching. Hit a like if you liked the video. Hit subscribe if you're new. And if you're new as well, hit the bell to know when a new video pops up. And I will see you all next time. Bye.